Nice. One thing I could say now that we have now that we've taken point, overall, I like that you're not overly aggressive, but I do think that there are some times where you could look to step up a little bit more. Because remember, so Reaper has self-healing and Wraith has little to no startup frames, as well as it's just basic. It's a free get out. It's a get out of jail free card. So don't be afraid to step up a little bit more than you would normally probably do as like a soldier or Cass or whoever the hell else you play. Don't be afraid to step up. You have that self-sustain, especially if you have Kevin with you. Be like literally you could be right next to Kevin and you should be fine. Have faith in your supports, have faith in your even in your own gameplay. That you can so that you can probably maximize your damage output a little bit more. As well as now that we have taken point, how and Kevin's trying to hold up tier, where should you be? Where do you think you should be playing if Kevin's going to be trying to hold up?
With Kevin,
Yeah.
that corner right there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Playing
this
with,
corner's
on that
fine.
in the corner on the shield.
Yeah, either playing right here with Kevin, or if you wanted to TP up here, this wouldn't have been a bad option either. While maybe a little bit more risky TPing into a Kiriko, I think you probably could still end up winning that in at the end of the day. So even just trying to take this high ground, so maybe get a little bit of an overview, and then worst case, you just drop down. Now you're where you wanted to be originally. That's about it for that. Yep, and great as position. I like the ult. Again, only real thing I could say is just be a little cautious of what can get you out of that ult, and in this case, it's only the Doomfist. So just maybe going forward, just in maybe not for that kind of situation, but just for other situations, be aware of what might be able to hit you out of ult or get you out of ult. So like, let's say they have an Ana, let's make sure that we try to bait out sleep first, or if they have a Doom, try to bait out punch first and then ult, something like that, so that you can't just so it doesn't end up getting wasted in some ways.
Mhm. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. It's not something I really do like that.
They stole the robot from us.
Good disengage.
Their barricade is moving.
In some cases, I like that we're playing main, but don't be afraid to play a flank. Don't be afraid to like position yourself on this in this area. Okay, now I have a little bit of a different angle. And play a surprise aspect. Play like a flanker a little bit more. Maybe not always. Depending on what your other other DPS is. Like let's say you're running Genji Reaper or like Tracer Reaper, something like that. Maybe you play more main with Kevin. Because that would make a little bit more sense. But here you have a Venture instead. Venture can play more main, or is able to play a little bit more main than another flanker. So you can maybe play some flanks. So don't be afraid to do something like that. Like I said, playing over in that area, or even positioning back here a little bit more defensive. Wait for your team to step up, or as they're stepping up, you step up from behind, and now you get some surprise damage on this Lucio or on this Kiri or even the Doomfist, which forces them to change up how they have to play because now they're low and early.
A dark step.
I thought they would have backed up into that, but
Yeah.
they didn't.
Yeah, this new map is a little. That's why I had us play it last night, because we're not entirely used to how this
Yeah,
entire section works
I
yet.
haven't fought there yet.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, I understand the mindset. I think probably just try to go for the more guaranteed instead of playing the more hope factor, I
Hmm.
guess. Yeah, instead, like, maybe we could have taken a couple extra steps forward and then pressed Q. And now we're getting that Doomfist. Or now we're getting that Kiriko and Tracer a little easier. Worst case, you get out Pulse, if anything here. Or from that. I think the better
Yeah.
option probably would have been a step here, though. Because that Doom's really focused on Kevin.
It was a bit more of a hope thing because I was like really low.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to like walk up and then they just see a Reaper walking up and then, oh, he's low. And then just get one tapped
Yeah.
or something like that. So I was just like praying he kind of like backed up into it, but they didn't. And that was just, yeah.
And in some cases, you don't always need to ult. You might not have had to have ulted here. You could have probably played for you could have played with your normal just your normal shotguns and tried to get that self heal to activate just by looking at the Doomfist. Because
Right.
Reaper is one of those Reaper is still a tank buster, and I don't really mind when Reapers look at the tank per se because they can get that extra health. Mainly when a Reaper's like half like you, if you want to look at the Doom for a little bit to regain some of that health, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It'll because then that allows you to go in on that Tracer easier or the Lucio, whoever the fuck you pick. Also, health pack awareness would help. There's one in here.
Hmm.
Well, you weren't getting to that.
But then what if I go in there and then the team just dies?
And you just have to disengage, yeah. That's why I didn't directly say it, but just more for other situations. Just don't be afraid of health packs.
Hmm.
Or
It makes
they,
it re-engage harder though.
yeah, so
But
at
definitely,
times.
yeah.
Good job not feeding.
In shadow.
Good attempt.
Flanking. A dark step.
Yeah, not a bad ult. I just wanna note that. Yeah, I think your perception when it comes to ulting is a little off. I think you
Yeah.
see people. I think you see multiple people because I'm seeing it in from your screen too. You're seeing like 2 to 3 people, but you're also not realizing, okay, these people are quick. Like what you're seeing is a Kiri, Lucio, and a Genji. Those people can get out of my ult pretty easily, to be completely
Hmm.
honest. So you more want to look to when facing a quicker comp like this dive comp that they're playing, maybe look to more cut them off. Like like what you said over there, or with that one over there, look to cut them off and split their angles a little bit better. Or look for a more guarantee. Like wait till you're in a situation where this Lucio can 100% not get away. Like you're face to face with him. Or same with the Kiri, same with the Genji. Make that guarantee. Because again, you don't need to look for big 2Ks, 3Ks, 4Ks with your Reaper ult. I just need you to get one pick. That's all anyone will need because ults, many DPS ults are just they're there to guarantee a kill. That's all it is. It's the same with Blade, same with Pulse, same with Reaper ult. Guarantee that one kill, and then now your team is at that advantage.
Escorting the robot.
Did a fast ass re-engage there, disengage there.
Yeah, because they can. They have that speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good. One thing I could really say is if they're gonna swap to Rhine, make him keep that shield up. If he can't keep if his shield's up, he can't swing, so he can't really do anything. And then if you break that shield, he should be a free target for a Reaper.
Right.
In here again, don't forget about the flanks. Well, ignore the Tracer. But one thing that you could look to do, TP up here. Probably TP up here so they don't see it. And then you can walk down here and now boom. Now you get that surprise damage again.
Uh,
That was a risky TP.
yeah.
It was a fight loss anyway.
Fuck that up there. That was like kind of 2 in. We just died there.
Yeah. Great. Keep on. All you really have to do right now is just keep on that Reinhardt. You keep that pressure up on that Reinhardt, and then he's afraid. As you saw, he tried to challenge you, he couldn't, and then he was
Yeah.
forced to play that corner. He's gonna be trying his best to avoid you. So the best you can do, don't let him. Don't let him avoid you. Keep that aggression up, especially in like more neutral fights when we're not real when Kevin's not calling a target or Abby's not calling a target. Look to more. Okay, fuck you, Reinhardt. I'm just gonna keep staring at you until our plan is ready, or our target is ready to be called. And best case, maybe you even end up making that Reinhardt a viable target by lowering him enough through your health or through your damage.
Enemy is in possession of the robot.
You look like you were gonna ult there in like 2 seconds.
I was, yeah. But I when I ult,
Hmm.
I tend to like wanna wraith in,
Yeah.
but that's not a good approach. So I didn't. But they ended up using every single ult.
Yeah. In,
'Cause I think
in
they,
in that
they
case,
they
it's
they
fine.
like saw me trying to ult and then they used every single ult there.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's fine. One thing that Reapers do become a little readable at that case, because they'll when they get ult, they'll start to be a little bit more aggressive, like you were right there. So one way that you could look to maybe avoid that is, I think, still remember to remain passive. Like don't be afraid to go over here. You have all the time in the world. They still have they're only at about half of what you guys are, and you guys have 30 seconds. You guys either need to just die reset here, or or just play patient and wait for your team. So while yes, I don't mind going for the ult, I think probably the better way to go about the ult is again be that surprise. Don't just run down main with ult because they're gonna see that coming. Surprise them with ult by being on a flank or something like this, something over here where they're less likely to expect it. Because I think you probably could have gotten at least maybe the Lucio and possibly the BAP if you tried to ult from this side instead and just were a little bit more
Yeah,
patient.
yeah.
But in this situation, I wouldn't have done too much because the rest of your team died. But
I felt they beat there. They just used both their recall swords.
you got the assists.
Yeah, I
Again,
got the damage.
yeah, all I could really say about that again, I think, is watch that, watch that going down main aspect. Try not to do that, especially against a Genji. Oh, you got deflect killed. Yeah, be cautious. How did Jared get deflect? Okay. Yeah, just be cautious about running down main. Make sure that either like, because now again, always be aware of what counters my ult on their team. You have pin, you have immort, you have beat, and you have deflect. Now they have a bit more than they did when they were running that. Just that dive comp, being so be aware of what those counters to your ult might be, and what is the biggest and most likely one here. In that case, the most likely one to hit me is probably deflect, or maybe a beat because they're well, as we can see, they're close on it. So you Demar would probably say they probably a beat. So best case, we look to Reaper to bait out beat, but also just be a little bit more cautious of where the deflect is. And the best way to work on that is catch them off guard, like I've said a couple times now. Don't just run down main with ult. Maybe even just come down here, wait for your Rein to engage. Now, boom. Imagine you being in this situation, where you're not dead. Kevin's there, and now you're just here. Now, Tracer delaying your engagement a little bit could allow you to have a easier time getting that surprise damage off, because this should be a one-shotable Tracer. And now you step up, big Q, or whatever the fuck your button is, being on console. Big ol'
Yeah, it's
it's a triangle.
it's triangle.
Yeah, there we go. I know my PS4 controllers or 5 controllers. But yeah, don't be afraid of taking those flanks. Okay. Anything else you want to look over?
What was it, New Junk City? Where I played Reaper in the end, I think. I'm not sure what it was, what map it was. But I played Reaper at the end of a map. I think it was New Junk City, I'm not sure. Let me see the log codes actually.
We played
So,
Suravasa. I mean Suravasa.
I think it was Suravasa. Let me see. Where's this thing?
It's in Summer Scrims. Tomorrow put them.
Yeah, it was Suravasa, yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to just skip to the end or when you're on Reaper then for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like more toward like I want to say like
I'll see.
2-2, I think it was.
I can figure it out.
Or yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Nope. But it's around here, so probably after this death. There we are. Okay.
Can't escape death. A dark step.
Yeah, great pressure. A lot of the times, don't chase Lucio's. All I can really say about that. It's just too fast for you and most characters. Unless you're like a flanker like Tracer, Genji, Sombra, don't chase. See, there we go. Now we're on a flank. They're not even turning to look at you. Great. And in this case, you were able to get out Mei, you were able to get out Emor,
First out May, yeah.
and this BAP is also looking at you, which in turn, what does that mean?
Split attention.
Yeah. BAP's not able to heal his team because he's looking at you, which is a great thing. Their flex support is not really doing anything right now because he shouldn't be able to kill you being on Reaper. Great. See, even there was fine, because because you got your value with the one pick, as well as if anyone wanted to try to contest that, or try to contest point here from you guys, as you saw, they can't. Because you queued right here, as well as you're also getting the window value, which is also great. While I will not say that we should look to combo that often.
Yeah.
Window's
Not a
good
good
for
combo.
more ranged characters than a Reaper. Just be a little cautious about some of your TPs. Yeah, because you're a little risky with it. Some are fine, some are a little risky. Like the one on Colosseo, like that one. If they had a little bit more point control, that could have ended a little bit more poorly for you. So just be cautious about like where you're TPing and what you're TPing onto. Like, are you TPing just to your team, or are you TPing into the middle of a fight? And just kind of think about that a little bit when you're trying to TP. Would it be safer for you to just try to run towards your team, or should you TP?
Okay.
Unfortunate. Team got wiped before you though. So nothing you could have done. I think maybe our target focus could have been a little better here.
Yeah, I think maybe I just looked at main block too much. And then couldn't get damage in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're waiting a little bit too long. She's most likely just playing here for contest. A lot of the times the Mays aren't just going to instantly get out of it. They're probably going to wait the whole time. A lot of the time. So in this
Okay.
situation, again look at that Reinhardt. Nothing wrong with it. You still do a lot of damage to tanks. So do it. Especially if you looked for that follow up. Just keep looking at that Rein. Keep looking at that Rein. Look at him. He's half. He's half. His BAP is
Right.
over here. And you have Damar. If we're playing like that kind of losing fight, be in the brawl. Be brawling with your team instead of looking to play that flank. And that kind of comes
Okay.
into decision making, like understanding when you should be looking at the supports or when you should be with the team. And in this case, like I said, last time you had a Venture, this time you have a Tracer. You don't need to be looking for those flanks as much. You could be more or less looking to play with Kevin because you have someone else that's a little bit more capable of handling flanks than you. But overall, this was a lost fight. Nothing major. It's not too big of what I just said because you're already down 2 people.
I'm not done. Beware the shadows.
I was just a little unlucky.
Flanking.
Yo, the way I died here is crazy. I forgot
I'm
this
assuming I know
happened.
what it is, but I just went.
Yeah, it's just that angle. Like I died from a
Oh yeah.
tight angle. So unlucky.
Yeah. Overall, main things I can say, I believe the main thing that we talked about was really your ult usage. Try to think a little bit more when popping it. Don't just run down main. So, I like that you were able to understand I shouldn't be wraithing into ult. Sometimes I wouldn't say never wraith into ult. I'd say sometimes. Just be aware that it's not the best option. But sometimes there are times where you should be wraithing into ult because like there's a lot of things going on, or like there's a lot of AOE that you can't really get in without wraith. So there are going to be situations where you should wraith in for ult. But a lot of times it's going to be more save wraith to try to get out after ult. Uh, yeah, and then also just try to be more surprisey about your ult. So don't be like don't over aggress. Don't make yourself as readable. Be a little bit more unpredictable with your ult. Uh, don't change up your gameplay or how you're playing too much because that's what a lot of Reapers will end up doing is that they'll play more aggressive when they have ult, and that makes it very obvious for the other team to either just hard focus you to not let you get that ult off, or be ready for that ult more than they should be. So play those flanks a little bit better, and also understand when you should be playing those flanks because there are times where you don't need to be. Like we showed at that last point, you should have been fighting the main fight instead of trying to take out a support.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and just kind of making so a little bit what you could look to think about going forward: decision making and ult usage. Overall, I recorded this, so you have that if you do need to look back. Any questions?
No.
Okay, then will I see you tonight?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Most likely.